Hey, seventh graders, Mr. Allard. Today we're going to be talking about your vocab foldable, so hopefully this will help you get started. But on Monday of this week, we're going to be working on creating a list of students to stay after with me during ninth period to get some of this taken care of, because this is going to be a skill that we're going to need throughout the whole year. So hopefully you can gain something from this video. If you watch the video, you answer the 5 questions, you get a 5 out of 5, I will give you 5 bonus points in the grade book. All right, so make sure you have your vocab foldables with you. There shouldn't be any notebooks. So you could also have your interactive notebook open to page number 2 to look at those 7-up sentence hints. All right, here we go. All right, so here's a little version of your vocab foldable. Okay, so here's our 5 words for this week. Culture, cultural region. Ooh, went too far up here. Environment, natural resources, and migrate. So what I would do, first thing I would do is I would say, okay, my first word is culture. I'm going to take culture and I'm going to write it. Now you guys, I'm going to write culture right here. Okay? So it's a people's way of life, including beliefs, customs, foods, dwellings, and clothing. So this is a unit on geography, and we're talking about Native American culture. But you could talk about our culture. So you could have a sentence that speaks, if I was going to do something about Native Americans, I might say a major, think of what you know about Native Americans. Think maybe the Iroquois. An example of Iroquois culture was they lived in longhouses. Was that one of their dwellings? Yes. Does that show me you know what the Iroquois part of their culture was? Yes, that would be a fine sentence for culture. All right, if you were going to do something about today, what's a major part of our culture? The use of technology. So you could say a major part of American culture is technology because we use it every day to communicate and to learn new things. Both of those sentences would be fine. But you got to show me with an example, what is an example of a people's way of life? All right, let's look at, so this is cultural region, and probably this one is going to be the most difficult one. I'm going to write that there again. This is probably going to be the most difficult one for you guys to do because this is the word that is probably the least part of your vocabulary right now. All right, so look at the definition. An area in which a group of people share a similar culture and language. So where might you think of cultural regions? Okay, we did the wiser me today. So one of the cultural region that you presently live in now, if you were a Native American, is the Eastern Woodlands. So again, use that Iroquois example that we used already. The Iroquois lived in the Eastern Woodlands cultural region because the Native Americans there lived in longhouses and spoke the same language. Right? We took what we did for the first sentence and we put it down there for the second sentence. Now, cultural region is going to be a little bit harder because we don't really have them today. I mean, you could say there's no real Eastern Woodland cultural region today because America is pretty much the same. You could talk about the American cultural region. What are parts of our culture that aren't like other areas? You could say something like the American cultural region celebrates holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas that other cultures don't, because there's some cultures who don't celebrate those two cultural regions. All right, but that's what you've got to think of, using that example and using something either from the context of the classroom or from present day, but be careful. Okay. Environment. This one should be relatively simple because you want to know what the environment is? Look out the window. There's the environment. It's all the physical surroundings of a place. Land, water, animals, plants, climate. So let's use our Iroquois example again. The Iroquois lived around here. What's a major part of their environment? They lived in the woods. It's called the Eastern Woodlands. So you could say the environment of the Iroquois lived in the Eastern Woodlands environment and used the available wood to build a longhouse. Be fine, right? We've used that longhouse example in each of our sentences so far. You could talk about, what our environment's like today. What's a big part of the environment in the area? Lakes. We live in the Finger Lakes. So you could say a major part of the Finger Lakes environment are wineries. A major part of the Finger Lakes environment is the different lakes in the region. Something along those lines, okay? This is not that difficult. We just got to stop, think about it. What are some examples? Don't just say the environment of our area is nice. Why is it nice? Okay, come up with those examples. All right, let's look at our next one. Next one down here is natural resources. So I'm typing, you should be writing in your vocab foldable. What I would think of right now are what are some useful materials found in nature? Water, vegetation, animals, minerals. Okay, let's use our Iroquois example. Well, we've talked about longhouses, so what was an available natural resource for them? The woods. They used it to build their houses. So, ooh, I spelled natural resources wrong. So you could say something like, the Iroquois used natural resources like wood to build their longhouses. The Iroquois used natural resources like a good farmland to grow crops like corns, beans, and squash. Right? Something where you're talking about something that a people is using that comes from the land. Right? Big important natural resource that we talk about that we use today. Right? Look in the parking lot. Everybody has a car. We got to use oil. We got to use gasoline. Okay, so oil is an important natural resource today because many people use it in their cars to drive places. That you show me what you know. That's not a difficult sentence to write. Gold is another natural resource. Water is a natural resource. Solar energy is a natural resource, right? Comes from the ground. Any of that green stuff that we've heard in the news for climate change and stuff like that are all natural resources. All right, so let's look at this last one, migrate. Okay, so to move from one place and establish a new home in a new place. So this is what you're going to write and you're wrong. You're going to say, my family migrated to Florida to visit Disney World. No, you didn't. Did you go there and live in Disney World for the rest of your lives? No, you came back. That's not migrating. That's vacationing. Okay? So when people migrate, they go there and they stay. Now, you've heard this term used incorrectly, right? The geese migrate every summer. I wouldn't use that as an example, right? They're not staying there. They're not making a home. But who migrated? Yeah, early people. That's how we got here, right? So we could say something like early peoples migrated to the Americas. Well, why did they do it? They were in search of food. How did they do it? They did it using the land bridge. So early Americans migrated, or early peoples migrated to the Americas via the land bridge. Okay, perfect. You know, we talked about this today with an example the last couple days with immigration, right? Immigrants are migrating to America to find better jobs. Immigrants are migrating to America to find a better life. Okay. Where are they going? Why are they going there? That has to be in your sentence about migrate. All right, that does it for this extra credit video lesson on your vocab foldable. Hopefully it's helpful to you. If you still have more questions, as always, come see me during that 9th period time. We can bust one of these out in about 20 minutes, if that. Probably a little bit less. All right. If you're at home working on this, mom and dad might not be the most helpful. Send me a message on Schoology. It's linked to my phone. Hopefully I will get it and I will get it back to you. Until next time, 7th graders, out it out.